Hi guys, welcome back to the Ultradimensional podcast. This is episode 5 and my friend Ciara is back with me.
Hey guys.
I actually did want to talk about a UFO that I saw the other day because it's happening so often now. I was on my way to work and I was drawn to look at the sky for some reason, and it was pretty close. It was very reflective, and no, it was not an airplane, so shut up. And I know for a fact it was a UFO because that thing, literally, I was staring at it and it literally disappeared, and I mean, like, it almost like melded into either invisibility or like another dimension, because I was staring at that and it didn't like shoot away or fly away like super fast or teleport. That's not what happened. Like, it literally was like, it just like
Vanished?
Like vanished, but like not all at once, like slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? I don't know how to almost. Yeah, it was weird.
Trickled
But
off.
that was the most recent one I saw. We're not even going to talk about my dreams and how many UFOs I've seen in my dreams, but that's another episode. But I did want to mention my UFO experience. Do you think it's true that when you dream of someone, they thought of you before bed?
I think it goes both ways.
Okay.
But I feel like if I were to ever randomly ever think about someone, they thought about me first.
Mm-hmm. You feel like you're more of the receiver then?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what to think about that, honestly. Oh yeah. We could talk about you talk about that?
I'm not
Remember
that
we were-
educated on that, but we can.
Remember how you were talking about it though from a book you're reading? Maybe briefly mention something you've learned about holistic healing with herbs. Nothing that'll get us flagged, but something like pretty educational. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want us to be targeted, if that makes sense.
Without saying names.
Okay, good.
I learned from my healing books that basically you can like nourish yourself back to perfect health, meaning following an alkaline diet, just by herbs and not eating hybrid foods, nothing that's been like man-made basically, and eating at certain times of the day helps, and basically just doing yoga and everything. I did learn that you could possibly change your DNA even from like changing how you eat and how you think, and it really cleanses the body. That's about it.
I mean, I haven't shown you yet, but from the DNA and the Sands of Time book, it has a whole section on holistic health and like things that you should be eating. But honestly, I got a little turned off by like reading so much of that, because like in summation, basically everything is tampered with. So it's like, okay, even like the seeds are like tampered with. So it's just like what do you do, you know? And I felt like, obviously I'm not just going to eat like bad food. Like, I know what's the effects of that clearly. I noticed like my skin being very, very reactive to things that I used to eat in the past that were okay for my body back then and are not now, because I'm more used to eating healthier food. Like, I can't have, for example, like Takis. I can't have hot Cheetos anymore. I miss them so much, but like the reactions that my skin gets, even if I like set the intention for my skin to not have a reaction with it, or to like remove any negative reactions from the food to my body, and they still come, and I'm just like, okay, well, it's not even enjoyable eating these anymore, so I guess I just won't eat them. So I just don't eat them anymore, and I eat like pitos now, which are like a healthy alternative. I don't know if you have them, but I have some. Anyways, like basically what I'm saying is like everything's tampered with at this point, and so it's just like, I guess just choose whichever you feel is better. Like having an intuitive diet, I guess, is the way to go. Like I don't even think like I used to think a couple months ago, like, oh my god, like we should all be fully vegan. But even though I wasn't being fully vegan, because I still love, you know, like chicken a lot and certain meats here and there. But like now I'm at the point where it's just like, I think an intuitive diet is the way to go. Not one side or the other side being forced upon you, but just a balance of the two.
I agree, although usually my boyfriend's probably gonna watch this and be like, you had McDonald's the other day.
Yeah, I mean, I did too. I had canes the other day.
Yeah, like, I totally agree with having an intuitive diet. I just don't, the one thing that I do not eat, unless it's like for a very special occasion, is like red meat. Because it takes days to digest. Like, literally. And, yeah.
That reminds me, I just saw this TikTok yesterday. This girl breaking her 4 years of being vegan to eat this like amazing steak that I guess her friends were raving about. And so she takes a bite out of it, and it's like, mind you, it's like really bloody, and I'm like grossed out by meat when it's like that. Anyways, she really loved how it tasted. But I went in the comments and someone asked her, like, did you get really sick after eating it? And she was like, yeah, I got really sick. Mm-hmm. That tends to happen when you go off of a break of eating red meat.
Yeah.
And now your body's exposed to it again. I hear like, sometimes it might even be able to kill you if you go off of it long enough and then you digest it again. Mm-hmm. Your body's kind of like in shock. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Do you believe that you have to be careful with who you have sex with, meaning because you create an ethereal tie with them, or do you not believe this?
I agree. Like 1,000%. I've noticed the way my brain changes, even like being around other people. I think it's very important on like who you have sex with.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I kind of think that, but like I'm like half and half with that one. Okay. Why are there so many alien abduction stories, but so few third-party witnesses? Like, what do you think?
I think
someone should witness the abduction.
What if someone did, and then they never talked about it?
That too.
But why? I have no idea. Like, literally, I have no idea. Except for that Stan Romanek story. Oof. Like, literally everyone knew, right?
I think so.
Yeah. But other than that, I think there would have to be, like, a third-party witness.
I mean, like we mentioned in early episodes, or like I mentioned in an earlier episode, they're completely more advanced than us, and some philosopher said this, but like when technology gets, he's phrased it differently, but it's like when technology is so advanced you can barely distinguish it from magic. And so I mean, they're able to like literally create like funnels of time stopping, like a certain space where time's stopping. So that obviously means that any abduction is on purpose, and if you're taken or examined or whatever, or have any experience, and that's obviously meant for you, you could literally be abducted in the middle of a, I don't know, like a concert or a game, and nobody would know, because I don't know, like I feel like they can honestly wipe everyone's mind easily. Even if there is no missing time, I don't know. Those would have to be like much more higher dimensional beings than just the gray stone, I think, to be able to like erase everyone's mind. Like if you were to be taken, the fact that there is missing time is just showing that how not as advanced as they can be, but if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like they're not the most advanced, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. You would have to have like really high technology to like influence just one person in a crowd of people.
Yeah. And I think the reason there's like no third party witnesses is, I mean, I basically just explained it. Like, it was not meant for everybody else to see. And, it just came into my head. I think the main reason though is that, and I just read this from the book yesterday, the extraterrestrial contact. I think the main reason why there's no third party witnesses in most abductions, which makes everybody skeptical if this is even real, because obviously there's lack of evidence. I think the reason is because they really do not want to be known by the majority of people. Like, yeah, disclosure's coming like at a slow pace, but I don't think they want to be like low key about it, or else
they're even allowed to.
What?
Like I would assume that extraterrestrial races, they need permission in order like to give information.
Oh yeah.
Like to certain people.
Yeah, that reminds me of some information in an interview, not an interview, but in a regression session that Dolores Cannon was having in her books. They had told her, and they is obviously the aliens, the ETs, don't call them aliens. The ETs said to her to not release certain information until they said it was okay. And what they did to prevent her from releasing it was they literally made her, I don't know if it was her USB drive or if it was her flash drive or if it was her audio tape. They basically made it disappear, and then several months later it reappeared and she found it when it was the right time to disclose the information. So that just shows like things that'll happen when they really don't want you to share something. But that was interesting. Okay, so what existed before the Big Bang, and what do you believe is true of the creation of this universe? This is, I mean, if this a big question, it's that one.
I think the universe was in another universe prior, and basically it's like Inception. And
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, because like we're in a whole nother universe versus like, other animals.
Okay.
But it's all like different levels of consciousness.
So what do you believe is true of the creation of this universe? I mean, I don't even know. Everything?
Yeah. I don't know. I think with the whole Big Bang Theory, I don't know. Something just like totally buzzed in my head. But I think for the Big Bang, it needed to know itself. So in order to know itself, it needs a mirror. So that's why instead of like one thing, it just kind of split into like a lot of pieces, like how a mirror would. And that's just how we are.
I mean, I think my answer for it would be, just as my answer to almost anything right now would be, like, for example, like people that believe the earth is flat, or people that believe the earth is round, or people that believe that aliens are real, or people that believe that aliens are not real. I think everyone's operating honestly from different like realities, to be honest. I've learned that a lot from Dolores Cannon's work. Like a lot of people, especially like when you take into account like the Mandela effect. A lot of people definitely are from other timelines, and our timelines merge a lot. So people that believe the Earth is flat are probably from a timeline where the Earth is flat. The people that are from a timeline that believe the Earth is round are from the timeline where the Earth is round. So if that makes any sense, I feel like literally maybe all beliefs are valid in that sense, because they're all from different timelines where things are different. I don't know, that's just my opinion on that right now. It'll probably change later, but I don't know. Yeah, that one makes you think a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, that is the end of episode 5.